Talking with Topher is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Put in promo code TOPHER before you check out for an extra 10% off your entire purchase. More on that later. Let's get into episode 151. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this February 23rd, 2023, and I'm so glad to have you all here with me. I have a great, fantastic, amazing, fun podcast for you all. That's right. There was so much to talk about when Elijah and Mike came over that we had to record two. That's right. We had to record two. It's more fun for all of you. So before I get into any of that, let me start off by saying thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. You are what's keeping me coming back here week after week, and I greatly appreciate it. So go ahead, give a thumbs up, leave some comments, share the podcast episodes because that helps it push it out into the algorithm, and it puts it in more people's faces. So go ahead and be doing that if you've already subscribed. If you are new to the podcast, maybe you're just stopping by, checking it out for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's the one thing I'm asking everybody to do. It is the most important thing you can do to help out the podcast, and it's free. That's right. You want what's easier than free? Go ahead and click, stomp, smash, click that subscribe button. All right, it's absolutely free for you. This is not free to do, and I appreciate all my subscribers for clicking that button. All right, and if you want to get more involved with the podcast, that's right, talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. It's the official email of the podcast. You can send your story, or maybe you have a story that just needs to be heard in an audio, video, type it out. Just keep them under 60 seconds and send that over to talkinwithtopher at gmail.com if you want to get more involved with Talking with Topher. All right, and then, of course, if you want to find everything TwT, the link tree is going to be the easiest way for you to find everything I'm doing. That's right. All my social media, all the episodes, all the audio episodes, all the video episodes that are on Rumble and everywhere else, you're going to find right here. Click this link. It's in the description below the video, and it's going to give you access to everything TwT. It is just that easy. And I'm on Rumble now. That's right. I'm having so much fun doing these conspiracy podcasts that I'm afraid I'm going to get shadow banned, demonetized, and or somehow censored. So you can find every episode of Talking with Topher on Rumble. That's right. Now and forever. You go there, check it out. Nothing's getting demonetized. Nothing's being shadow banned. So it's a safe place to be, and you can find it by clicking the link tree. All right. So that's all the housekeeping for this episode. Let's get into it. I am so excited, and I'm just so excited to get this podcast started. So first and foremost, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. That's right. That's all it is. It's a conversation. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you're having fun listening along, because that's what this is all about. We're asking questions. We're digging into things. We're having some disagreements, and that's the way this is supposed to go. People should be able to have any type of conversation that they want anywhere. We should all be allowed to ask the questions, but again, this is for entertainment. We're all just having fun, right? Instead of me rambling on and on and on and on, let's get into today's podcast with my guests, Elijah Weber and Michael Firth, Talking Theories, Part 2. So we're back again, back at it again. There was so much, we had to do it twice this month.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what are we getting into this time? What are we getting into?
Well, I listened to this show called Tinfoil Hat.
Yep.
Sam Tripoli. And he had this guy on this podcast named Gary Wayne. I did an episode. It was called like Sacred DNA and Secret Societies of Giants or something like that. I think it was like episode 489 or something like that. Something around there.
Yeah, yeah.
And, they got into this whole thing where like how there's giants in the Bible and stuff, and how there's been evidence of giants, all over the world and everything. And it's like, well, where do they come from, right? And this guy Gary Wayne, shout out Gary Wayne, who wrote this awesome book, The Genesis 6 Conspiracy. I've read through it like before, and then like I wanted to get an autographed copy, so I did. He signed it and everything. He said, "Your search for ancient truth begins now. Enjoy the journey."
That's awesome.
That's
so
cool.
does he agree with like
he's
the
a Christian contrarian.
Ancient Apocalypse by Graham Hancock?
Well,
he kind of touched on the giants a little bit as well.
Well, Graham, I don't think believes that giants actually existed. I think Graham is more into, they were larger than life people.
Okay.
But like basically, so Gary asserts that the giants are the Nephilim, essentially, and
explain who the Nephilim.
The Nephilim were born of, the daughters of Cain and these dark angels, aka the Watchers. And there's a whole bunch of stuff we can get into talking about where they come from and everything.
Yeah.
And it all depends on like what you're really open to believing. And this isn't like, I'm not trying to offend anybody what they believe in or whatever they've read. This is just some stuff I've heard and read of, even through some of the sources that Gary uses in this book. So one of them is the Book of Enoch. They reference the Quran in this book, the Bible a lot, and a bunch of other stuff like the History of Freemasonry by Albert Mackey.
Okay.
I think they reference Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike a few times. There's a really awesome bibliography in this book. And then like once you like start reading through this book and then you read back through the Bible again with the different lens, you're just like,
there's some amazing stuff in the Bible. And
it's crazy.
There's actually a lot of stuff that over the last few years that I've realized over the last few years, some of it's gone back to like, in the 1970s, they found a giant boat, an ark, on the side of a mountain in Turkey. And now the Turkish government won't let people go there. People from other countries go there. It was found at the top of a mountain. So how does a giant boat get to the top of a mountain thousands of miles from any ocean?
Right. It must have been a massive flooding.
Yeah. So Noah's Ark finally landed in, Turkey, possibly?
It's possible.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it as a possibility. And it makes you start to wonder how many of the stories in the Bible are actually factual and not just stories meant to teach you lessons.
Right.
And this book tries to line up a lot of those stories with significant like events that happen in timelines that are recorded in history. Like he used Josephus a lot, Flavius Josephus. He was like a Jewish historian back in the old days in the times of Jesus, and he recorded the history of the Jews during their occupations and stuff.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess he's got a super accurate like account of shit that happened, and it's referenced a lot in this book.
Really?
So, so the title of the book is The Genesis 6 Conspiracy, How Secret Societies and the Descendants of Giants Plan to Enslave Humankind. If you read the back of it, it says, they may not look like giants today, but their bloodlines extend all the way back to the Nephilim, the offspring of angels who mated with human women, described in Genesis chapter 6 when giants were roaming the land. Gary Wayne, author of the Genesis 6 Conspiracy, How Secret Societies and the Descendants of Giants Plan to Enslave Humankind, details the role of modern-day Nephilim in Satan's plan to install the Antichrist at the end of days. When God cast the angel Lucifer and his followers out of heaven, Lucifer set into motion a scheme to ensure the Nephilim survived. Why? Because from the bloodlines of these Nephilim, the Antichrist will come. To keep his plan alive, Satan has enlisted the loyalty of secret societies such as the Freemasons, the Templars, and the Rosicrucians to conspire in teaching a theology and a history of the world that is contrary to the biblical one. This Genesis 6 conspiracy marches towards the Great Tribulation, when then loyalty of the terminal generation, this generation, will be tested. The Bible, along with many other ancient sources, clearly records the existence of giants, Wayne provides copious citations from many society insiders, along with extensive Bible references, other religious references, and historical material to bolster his contention. What he uncovers will astonish you, and it will challenge you to prepare for the fulfilling of God's promises. Now, that's Gary Wayne. That's his book. But it's very interesting when you read about the stuff in there, and then you see you match it up with the other. If you do your own research,
right,
on the stuff that he's saying,
with events that have actually happened,
it's just kind of it makes you just go whoa, what? I mean, I'm not saying take everything you read in this book at face value. Do your own research. I mean, but it's a really great book. He does a great job of explaining it. And one of the things they try to get into in the beginning of the book is, what were they called? They called them the heroes of old, or in the very beginning of the book. It says in Genesis 6:4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were heroes of old, men of renown. Now that's what the Bible says. And then you have to think about, what was the ancient application of the word hero at the time, right? And then Gary Wayne gets into, if you consider the definition provided by Webster's New Format Dictionary, 1986. This is on page 2 of his book. It says, it defines hero as a man of superhuman powers, a demigod. So and now he continues, if the original translation for hero then is applied to Genesis 6, we indeed have a cryptic enigma in that the race of superhuman demigods is part of the flood narrative. So if if there was a bunch of superhuman beings that are not part of the original schism of creation by the Creator, supposedly they all these weird cults and stuff started to form from them and everything, and then you had all this wickedness going on in the world that later gets described in Genesis, and that's the reason why God had to bring the flood, because these Nephilim were breeding with other things too. So you had all this crazy shit running around the world doing crazy stuff, and they just corrupted humankind. And supposedly that's why God was just like, all right, I got to take the most pure ones, put them in this ark, flood the earth, kill these things, and start it all anew. But but it also says that the Nephilim were in the days of the flood and after.
Oh yeah, there's still evidence of them today.
You know what I mean?
Really?
The book gets more into it too, but
I think one of the interesting things I found about the story of the Nephilim in the Book of Enoch, which is a book of the Bible that they removed.
Yeah,
it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
So okay.
When they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch was one of the lost books of the Bible that they had taken out, and basically they just found this book, but it mostly talks about Noah, and his grandfather was Enoch, and all the stuff that was going on. It talked about the Nephilim quite a bit, and how the Nephilim, when they started to take power, they started to their fathers, the fallen angels, were giving them all
sons of God.
Yeah, the sons of God were, I guess that's one way to put it. But they were giving mankind technology and teaching them how to use weapons,
magic,
and war, and to create war with their fellow mankind.
Really?
And to basically, subjugate all their other humans and take over. Whereas before that, everyone was living in harmony and peace, and everything was good in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and essentially, I mean, you think about it. Do you think we're better off with the cell phones and all our technology now than we were, say, 20 years ago? Look at these kids nowadays. They have all the stuff in the world at their fingertips, and all they're doing is watching stupid TikTok.
No,
videos.
the only thing I'm thankful for is that we came up with them the way we did.
Yeah.
Because
we were able to have a childhood before them.
Right. And I think that is lost, unfortunately. I think it's used as a babysitter now.
Yeah. Which I definitely won't be doing with my youngest.
I don't recommend it for anybody. They should none of these kids should have a device until they're at least 16. I truthfully believe that. I had a cell phone. I was 18. I had to go buy it myself.
I had my first cell phone.
I had to go buy it myself.
Mind you, it was about as big as his book, and it had an antenna that came out of it. I'm old as shit, but
Star Trek. I had a Star Trek, bro.
Yeah. No, I had a phone about this big. It looked like the giant old
The brick?
Oh, it's dude,
Yeah.
huge.
Oh, the
The
brick
suitcase.
phones,
Huge.
dude. The suitcase
Dude.
phones. My
Yeah.
mom had a
And I was
fucking
afraid to call
suitcase
anybody
phone.
because it was going to cost you $1 million if you're on
Yeah,
that one
yeah,
30
yeah.
seconds.
Dude, I used to carry that shit around the mall.
Oh yeah, because you were cool if you had one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom was
But
pissed.
The point is that they brought technology and all this stuff,
Right.
and everybody was enslaving their fellow man and doing all this horrible stuff and all this war and everything else was happening in the world. And
A lot of weird sex things too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit based on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you're hurting your fellow man and everything else. And whereas eventually, God, said, enough is enough. This shit has to stop. And that's when he had the flood. And there's actually a lot of evidence around the world of a massive flood at one point. And
And in a lot of different mystery things too.
yeah, and it looks like it might have happened either like 6,000 or 12,000 years ago. And if you talk like we've actually I think we might have touched on it a little bit the last podcast there.
Right.
We're talking about how Atlantis,
Yes.
how some people believe it's in the middle of the Sahara Desert,
Right.
and there's the rings around it and stuff, and that the flood, that was like the lowest point of the Sahara Desert.
Right.
So if there was this massive flood, that would have all been underwater. So,
Right. Yep.
And at one point there might have been rivers and stuff that ran through that area and supposedly very lush and green. But after the giant flood, it all became a desert because it had been underwater for so long because it was at the lowest point.
Yep.
That everything
So-
would have died out in
Right.
that area, and then it eventually dried out, and it just got hotter and hotter, and
Yeah,
that was
and
the end of
nothing
it.
could grow
Nothing
there.
can grow
right.
there now. But there's a lot of stuff when you start talking about, if you want to talk about giants, there were sightings when Amerigo Vespucci and those guys were going to map the world and going around South America and stuff. When they were down in South America and they landed on the mainland, they came across tribes of giants that they claim were friendly, and they had no problems with them and stuff, but that they were like 12 and 15 feet tall, which is crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
then, you have when America was first being settled, you had supposedly native tribes of giants that were around, and there's actually been skeletons and stuff that I've actually seen online, pictures of giant skeletons and stuff that they found that are 10 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
And it's insane, and they try to play it off like, oh, maybe it was faked, or it could be gigantism or some weird thing or something.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's crazy. And, one of the tallest men ever to live, supposedly with gigantism or something, was like 8.5 feet tall or something
Okay.
like that. And that's in,
Is that the guy from the Guinness World Book of Records?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe. But then you get the Kandahar giant.
Oh yeah, bunch of Navy SEALs. They went. I don't know what happened, but other than the Navy SEALs ended up face to face with some giant that had some
In
psychic
Afghanistan.
powers and some shit in Afghanistan. And they ended up shooting the shit out of it. But it was like some red-haired, blue-eyed creature.
They said that it was dressed in Roman armor, like a Roman legion member, but that it was like absolutely enormous. And it just came jumping out of this cave, grabbed one of their men, and ripped him in half. And then they all started shooting it, and it was like nothing was happening to it. And then one of the guys yelled, "Aim for its head," and they all started aiming for the head, and eventually it went down. And they brought a helicopter in. They called for backup, said, "We need a helicopter to lift this thing out of here." And one of the pilots is like, there was actually audio on the internet at one point. I haven't been able to find it recently, but there was audio of him calling back to the base saying, "You're not going to believe this, what I have here." And they were like, radio silence, don't talk about it, because he started describing what he was seeing. And they were like, no, stop, radio silence. Just pick it up and bring it back here.
What?
Oh, yeah. And this was all leaked by the guys who were in the helicopter that were like, what the fuck is this? And it was supposedly some like 12 to 15 foot tall, redheaded giant with blue eyes and Roman armor. And
See, I heard of this story,
do
but
shit with
I
its
heard of
mind.
it from somebody that actually was in Afghanistan fighting.
Really?
His platoon was the one that would drop in and take out the bad guys in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And their only objective was to kill people. That's all they were trained to do.
Yeah.
And he told me that story. And he said from the people that he heard it from, their reaction and the way they told it, it was 100% true.
Yeah. My brother spent 13 months in Afghanistan. Never has told me a word about any of his time there, except that he says he doesn't believe in God anymore because of it.
Mm.
So I don't know what the hell he went through when he was over there, but it wasn't good.
Well, what he told, the guy told me some stories, and I was like, I just got chills from some of the stuff he told me. But he's also, dealing with his PTSD and all the other stuff that he got from being over there.
Yeah.
And so I think because of his therapy and stuff like that, he was more comfortable talking about it because it wasn't easy for him, but it also wasn't really difficult. You know what I'm saying? But he's also been taking care of himself, and he's gone through a lot. Like,
good for him.
The guy can't fucking sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys, anybody who serves fucking gets fucked up. Period. Unless you're like, I don't even know if you can't get fucked up being behind a computer, because you're probably blowing people up and you're not even fucking near them. You know what I mean these days? So.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, it was crazy, and that kind of just shows me that this story is true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, I know I sent you guys a video not too long ago too, showing some giants and stuff. And
yes, I think you did.
I don't know if you watched it or not, but at one point this is like, it's been the hardest thing for me to try to find. I don't know if you want to pull it up even, but there's a video. It actually shows the Nazis had this giant that was working for them, and he was marching in one of their parades. I don't know if you still have that.
On my phone, I don't think I do. I mean, it's probably on there. It's just buried.
Yeah.
Like everything else gets buried. Let's see. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You're not sure how to spell it? It's right here at the bottom of the screen, or you can click the link in the description below the video. And now, before you check out, you want an extra 10% off your entire purchase? Put in promo code TOPHER and let Talking with Topher save you some money this February. That's right. It's February. It's winter. It's cold. It's snowing. It's brutal. It's brutal. It sucks. Maybe your gloves have holes in them. Maybe your jackets aren't holding up anymore. Maybe you're sick of getting that snow blown back in your face while you're snow blowing. Well, Slowdown has some of the most incredible clothing I've ever seen. Their jacket is phenomenal. Their work gloves are great. And these long sleeve shirts are so comfy and warm that you can put them on, put the jacket over it, put those gloves on, put a neck gaiter on, and boom, you're ready to take on the snow, the winter, and the cleaning of the driveway. So you got everything you need to clear off some snow this winter, but they also have so much more to offer. They've got socks and hats and pins and stickers. Oh my. Yes, there's so much more. Maybe you want to think spring right now, right? You want to spring ahead. Well, go ahead. Check out their entire selection. Shorts, short sleeve shirts. They have clothing for every season that New England throws at us. So go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com today. That's right. Go there today and get your winter gear, get your summer gear, get your beach gear. That's right. That's everything. All 4 seasons in one website. Hey, I will not steer you wrong. I love these guys, and not just because they sponsor me, but I have been wearing their clothing for a decade now. Always been very satisfied with it. I love their products, and I'm just honored to finally have an amazing sponsor behind my podcast. And because of all of you out there, you're going to get to save an extra 10% off your entire purchase before you check out. Put in promo code TOPHER and get that 10% off your entire purchase today.
So there was this video that was going around the internet a few years back, actually showing a parade for the Nazis during World War II. And it actually shows this giant walking through that's like easily twice the size of everyone there. And I'm sorry, but what kind of thing could they do to fake that in the 1940s?
Right. How
So-
can you fake that?
Yeah,
Oh man.
but it's pretty freakish looking. So
There we go here, and there we go. Now I can go like this.
Hi, who said that giants are imaginary and only exist in fairy tales? There are many big people out in the world. Whoever's taller than 7 feet is considered to be a giant. It isn't very good to be tall. Large size can be a real problem for a person. It can affect your health and really decrease your life quality.
yeah, right
Today
there.
we will
That's
show
the
you
giant
some
I'm
people
talking
that
about.
look
Look at this thing.
I mean, how do you fake that?
That's what I'm
very
saying.
different
This
from
is,
regular
this is
folk.
The 1940s.
We're talking about real
Look at
live
that thing.
giants.
How do you fake that? I mean, that's all you really have to show
You
there.
get
But
that DNA from
it's-
somewhere.
it's freakish, dude.
Quality. Today
I
we'll
mean, look at the people on the sides of the road there, and look at this thing walking. There's a guy on a horse in front of him. On a horse. It's only to his waist.
Not even.
Holy shit!
Isn't that insane? That has been removed off of almost. I'm amazed this video is still up. Every
Really?
YouTube video that I used to have saved that had it is gone.
Really?
Is gone. And to me, that is just
Because that's craziness.
right. It's just the weirdest looking thing. I mean, if it's fake, then hey, great job because
Yeah, 'cause-
that's just weird
Not
as
me.
shit.
Yeah, because I don't understand how you could even fake this right now.
And I'll tell you what, being somebody with a big melon, the size of his traps to hold up that giant head, that's absolutely what happens.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have big traps to hold up a big head like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you can't, I mean, it just,
Wow.
in the words of Elon Musk, it's so fake, it's got to be real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
That is wild.
isn't it? Just the
Yeah, I
weirdest
remember
thing.
you. I remember you sending that to me now, and I haven't had a chance to fucking go through anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But I mean, when you look at stuff like that, it just makes you go, I wonder what else they've been lying about. I wonder what else is out there.
Right.
It's absolutely insane. But the more you read about it in the Bible and stuff, and you know, you start to research some of the stories in the Bible that they've made out to be fake and things, or, you know, oh, it's just a lesson, you know. So much of it has been proven to be more real
yes,
that you just kind of,
In like all those groups I mentioned off of the back of Gary Wayne's book. I mean, I know a few people that are involved in that stuff. I've never met a bad one. I don't know any. I've never met a bad Freemason or anybody who does that stuff. All the ones I know, they're all good people. But I mean, but who knows what the truth is behind all that stuff. But like, I've never met any bad ones. I've never, I'm not trying to say anything bad about those groups or anything like that. I'm just, that's what this person said in their book. And if you and if you look into those groups, it's just, I don't know. Like
well, I think a lot of the stuff in religion in general is just, I believe it to mostly be true, but it's just kind of almost dolled up in a sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like there is real facts in
there's a lot
there.
of good
I think
stuff
there
in
was
it,
tons
too,
you know
of
what I mean?
floodings. I think
well,
giants probably
you
did
look at-
exist.
If you look at
Maybe
all
they
the
built the
different religions in
pyramids.
the world, all the religions in different parts of the world tell the story of a great flood.
Right.
yeah.
Every
That's
single
that's
one
the
of them.
And
key.
that's really what that book gets
Well, that's
at.
what I'm talking about. Like you
Yeah.
take all the religions, you take all of their fucking stories, and you find these key
Mhm.
points in each one of them that all kind of match up with everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why I've always been like, oh, religion's kind of stupid. It's just somebody telling you that, like, my God is better than your God, but it's all like the same
It's all
basic
meant to keep us
background.
fighing.
Yeah.
It's all,
It's
it's all
really-
divide
You know what
and
I
conquer
mean?
stuff.
I
you
mean-
know?
Right. But like you look into the floods and the giants and this and that, and
I
they
know.
exist in
Yeah.
every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
I mean, for me, like I was raised Roman Catholic. I don't consider myself really a Catholic anymore, per se. Like not part of the Catholic Church
Yeah, no, me
because
neither.
they've just done me wrong every chance I've gotten. So that and all the stuff with the pedophilia and the raping of kids and things like that, just it just rubs me the wrong way to the point that I just don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
and I honestly feel that the Pope who just passed away was one of the most evil ones and was helping to just run the world into an evil place.
Really?
I
Okay.
really,
yeah,
I
yeah.
really do believe that. I mean, he was one of those what do they call that group in the church? The
black nobility.
no. The other part of it. The that sect of the church.
The Jesuit.
Yeah,
order?
he was a Jesuit priest, is what he was.
Jesuit?
Yeah.
Society of Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they call
Well-
themselves, but they're really like
They're
is
like
what I
the
heard on
army of the
internet,
church.
that they were like, they were
Don't
like
worry
the
about it.
military arm of the Catholic Church, and you got the white pope and the black pope.
Oh, okay,
It's not
okay,
a black
okay.
person. It's,
Right.
it's
Black
It's
robe.
like the the
Good
white
and
and black
evil.
checkerboard
Mhm.
colors. It's like that. It's like duality. You have
Yeah.
good nature and the darker nature. the
Right.
What's
higher
up
and the
is
lower.
down.
Yeah,
But
duality.
it's just there's so much evil out there. It's terrifying. But it makes you wonder, like, when they found the Book of Enoch and stuff, and the Book of Enoch is all full of, like I said, the giants, and talking about
He's like
Noah.
talking to like archangels by name. Like, and they like taking them around to like certain corners of the earth,
Yeah.
and it gets really descriptive with certain
oh
things,
yeah,
especially like
Strongly-
things in another realm. Like I don't want to call it like the astral realm or whatever 4-dimensional space is, but they start like talking about that kind of stuff in the Book of Enoch. It gets wild.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Like the book is like a trip.
I would say
It's-
anybody
the
out
first
there,
one.
look into the Book of Enoch. You'll be
Check
blown
it out.
away. It's so
Yeah, we
You're gonna be
I
like,
think we
why
touched on that a
isn't
little
this
bit
part
last
of the
time.
Bible? Like you could be like,
Well-
dude, that would make a lot of other things in the Bible make
Yep.
sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And Noah was
exactly.
also supposed to be
Especially
an
with the whole
immaculate
Noah story.
conception, like
Mhm.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
He was said to be an albino, which I think is very strange, but
Yeah.
according to the Book of Enoch, and he was a very interesting character. But they talk a lot about the giants in there, and it's like makes you wonder, why did the Catholic Church hide that from everyone for hundreds of years?
Yeah.
And until the Dead Sea Scrolls got found, that's the only reason people knew about it again. But there's so many other books that they've removed from the Bible. There's a book of Mary Magdalene.
Huh.
There's the book of Job. There's a bunch of books that they removed.
There's a
And I won't
Gospel
tell
of
you why.
Thomas.
Yep.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean that gets into like they call it the Gnostic Gospels, but like I've read through the Gospel of Thomas a couple of times. Actually, there's a lot of good stuff in there where you're just like, oh man, I could actually
Well,
use what he said.
A lot of them are hidden in the library at the in Rome,
the Vatican?
at the Vatican in Rome, and they won't let anybody see them. You know what I mean? Unless you're one of their higher up people, you got to be like a cardinal or something to even go in the library.
Yeah,
What?
it's
Yeah.
like the great. Supposedly, it is the largest library on the occult and all this other stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That rivals the library that the Masons have.
Well,
Really?
a lot of people have said that the Library of Alexandria, that supposedly was burned,
Yep.
wasn't actually burned until after the church stole all of the stuff that was in the library at Alexandria
Yeah,
and brought it back to Rome.
Really?
And it's in their library there.
What?
So basically, all of the
talking
old
like the
world
principles
knowledge
of
of the earth
Hermeticism and stuff.
are in the Vatican. It's crazy.
Oh, that is
pretty
crazy. And that's
crazy.
the place that I was talking about. The last the recent podcast we just did is the Vatican. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. That's where they sent
Yeah.
fucking what's his name, that we were talking
Well,
about.
what's funny too is the
Like
Pope.
the original mafia.
Yeah.
The the former Pope, the one who just passed away.
Father.
They are their own country.
He came out and spoke against Trump when Trump was talking about building the wall on the southern border. And he was like, that's wrong. Walls are wrong. They have 50-foot tall walls around
Yeah.
Vatican City.
Yep.
Those were built to keep out the Moors when they were invading from Africa and raping and pillaging all over Europe and Italy at the time. And it's like they built those walls to keep them out from attacking them and taking all their shit. But then you say,
Don't build a wall.
don't build a wall
Yeah.
to Trump. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
tear
well,
down your walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, don't take down their
Friggin-
walls.
no,
It's
I
keeping
know.
them inside.
Hypocrite.
Keep them in there. But
crazy.
somebody was I forget who it was, but they were showing me that they weren't showing me. They were telling me about how people might be like living underground these days. And a lot of stuff being dug out and hidden like almost like the size like to fit a village underground. And I guess I don't remember the year or who it was, of course.
Talk
But
about
they
the
were
ones in Turkey.
I might be, but
Was
they
it
were
on the
they were
Hancock
they were-
thing that you were watching?
no. This
All
is
right.
a little bit different. But they were digging because they wanted to see how close to the core they could get. And they dug down so many feet. I don't remember exactly what the footage is, who it was, where it was.
And some kind of evil came out of the hole.
And they were down there with a recorder.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden they heard like screaming and these demonic sounds. And like he played the like video for me, and not the video, the audio. He played the audio for me, and it's like, this is what they heard down there because they got the recording. And it was quite creepy. And then he was like, yeah, that's supposedly the sounds of hell. That's where I tapped out. I was like, all right, well, no, I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. So I have a hard time believing in any of that. But like, maybe there's like creatures trapped at the center of the earth. But I guess this was all founded because they were trying to find out how deep they could go into the earth and bore it out to make a community, so that if something like this ever happened again, a meteor, comet, whatever hits, they would actually be able to go underground, survive it, and then come back up after it's all said and done, and then they would be able to keep procreating, building, and living.
Well, the Templars had the catacombs.
Yes. Yeah,
You know,
the
back in the
catacombs
day.
is one of them, yes.
So,
And I know you
Probably
watched,
the one that's most known, I believe. Yeah.
I know you watched that
France.
series on Netflix, and they were showing in Turkey all those cities underground.
Yes. Yeah,
You know, like they could fit like 60,000 people and stuff that were like, 20 stories below ground and shit like that. Is the guy that was on Rogan a few years back that was in England, London, and was checking out some old subway tunnels from World War II.
That the old dude with the white hair?
I don't remember.
I can never remember his
But he
name.
went down and he was exploring the tunnels of, starting out in an abandoned subway tunnel from World War II. They got bombed or something. And started finding that there was more tunnels leading down and down and down. You get like 7 or 8 stories below ground. And then they found like a tunnel that had like modern day lighting and shit in it and like wires and stuff, and followed along this tunnel and saw a hatch up above with a ladder. And they went up the hatch. And as they climbed out, there were soldiers there with guns. And they took them into custody, cuffed them, put them in zip ties or whatever. But they had no insignia on their uniforms at all. And they basically got, masks, bags over their heads, brought them out. And they were basically told, those 2 guys, one lived in London, and he basically was told, don't ever friggin' come down here again. And the other one was told to leave the country and never come back. And now this guy ended up being on Rogan, and he was talking about how he went then to New York and did the same kind of thing in New York, and was not only finding that there was several layers underneath New York City, but that there were all kinds of people living under there as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
The tunnels and stuff.
in the
and-
tunnels,
In the tunnels under the city.
yeah, like multiple levels below the city.
Really?
Yeah. And honestly, this stuff all over the place where there's like these military bases and things that people used to put up videos on them. I haven't seen them in a long time, but for a little while, they're very prevalent where guys would sneak into these military bases and they would go down and it'd be like 12 stories underground.
Which is crazy to say.
Just to think about it. Like they dug out a hole in the side of a mountain and all of a sudden there's a base 12 stories down. It's like
12 stories down.
Yeah. But
What?
how much farther could it have gone?
Right.
That's how far they got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
And
hell's
then-
going
so what, you know what I
Makes you
mean? Like,
wonder what
how
they're doing
many
over there.
of our officials know about these things, and do they
all
like?
the
you know
ones
what I
controlling
mean?
everything know all about it.
And maybe
Sure.
that's the key. Instead of building up, you build down.
Well,
As
look at
above, so
you ever
below.
watch as above, so below. You ever watch Stranger Things?
No, I actually have to say I
gotta
have
get
not.
into that. So, Stranger Things, dude. They in the show, there's this building. It's like the Department of Energy building, and then they go down in the basement, and there's like scientists and weird obviously government funded stuff doing weird, crazy shit. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to spoiler.
Okay.
I spoil it for anybody, but you should definitely watch it. It gets into some of the MK Ultra stuff and some of the other things that, well, people on the internet believe were happening to children during those times.
It might be a true story somewhat.
May be a true story.
Yeah.
Well, now you-
Basically, they tried to use this girl who had like telekinetic powers and stuff. And
Yeah.
basically took a bunch of children that had these weird powers, took them away from their parents,
Traumatized them in order for them to
try
develop these psychic
try to
powers.
force them into using their powers more so that they could try to use them to get into a different dimension.
Do remote viewing, be able to
All
spy
that
on
kinds of
Soviet
stuff.
soldiers and then kill them from far away by being able to snap
Have you ever
their
heard of
necks
a
with your
movie
mind
they
and
made
stuff.
called The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yes.
There was a guy back in the, I want to say 80s or 90s, who basically tricked the government into thinking he had psychic powers.
Yes.
And that he could
I've
stare
heard
at
of
goats
this.
and make their heads explode and shit like that. But supposedly he was just faking them out and it was all bullshit and this and that. And they made a movie about it, making fun of it. But there's some people who say that he actually did have, you know, strange telekinetic powers and things like that. And that they did that movie and stuff to make fun of it, to not
To
let people know.
Diminish it in a sense.
Because they want to be able to control those kind of powers for themselves. They don't want anybody else to have them or
right.
know about them. You know what I mean?
Then you can mess with their interests.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I mean,
use it for themselves.
Always.
Always.
Yeah, it's always the way it is.
And how much, like, supposedly there's like this Akashic records or whatever. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there's like this other dimension where you can like see everything that's ever happened, ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
If
Sometimes
people were able to tap into that.
Sometimes
like how
I
this-
wonder if there is different dimensions. Like there's me, just in a different like dimension, doing almost not the exact same thing, but maybe. But I exist in
Where
more
you made
places
different
in one.
decisions.
Yeah,
in life
yeah. Like
or-
it changed the
different
direct theory.
timelines.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm in prison or something, or you know, maybe I got rich. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Well,
I wonder if that could happen. Like maybe
me-
you break down some barriers.
Let me ask you this next question. What do you think the aliens are?
What do I think they are?
Yeah.
I think they're humans.
Think they're humans?
Yeah. I think they're advanced humans.
Really?
I don't know why. I feel like that's the route we're going. No gender, no nothing, no talking, brain thoughts. I think it's something that we reached and then lost, but some of them survived.
I think they're just creatures from another part of the planet or from another dimension.
I think they're these interdimensional.
Interdimensional things. Ooh, I like that too. I
Kind of
mean,
like, should we bring up the picture of the weird thing that was just caught on a trail cam up in...
oh, you want to bring that
yeah,
up?
I might as well.
All right.
We're getting into that kind of a...
Yeah.
I mean,
Got a little bit of time. We can do
supposedly
that.
that was seen on 2 different trail cams up in Minnesota recently.
Yes, yeah, and I think that you know a lot of these. It's just a picture, not a video. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
I probably could have sent the whole video, but
No,
at
that's
the
fine.
time I was just like, what the heck is this?
We're just gonna pull up the pic. But yeah, no, I it's just another one of those things, like Sasquatch. You know,
Yeah.
it's going around, and I don't know. Some of this stuff I really want to believe in. And then other stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. It just seems a little far-fetched, but it seems like all the far-fetched shit is the most believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Like always.
you try talking to any regular person about this kind of stuff, and they look at you like you're crazy. You go talking about this to people that are locked up in jail, which I have the privilege of doing because I work at a jail, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, did you also know about this?" And then like
Like, look at
you
this
go
thing.
look into what that is, and the rabbit hole goes even deeper.
Like, that's the weirdest looking thing.
It is the weirdest looking thing. You're like, what is going
So
on
strange.
here?
Like, if someone is wearing a suit there, those arms are way too long to be a human's arms, and the legs are so short. It's just weird.
It's extremely weird. I don't like the foot looks. I don't know.
It looks more like a demon than anything.
Yeah, and then there was a video, I think, on this same trail cam where it like comes up to it and like flashes it real fast, and or maybe that's a different video.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I saw something like that recently as well. But I mean, it is possible that there is something. I don't even know where this is, but it is possible that these did exist. I mean, we watched that older video with the giant, and it's like there was this giant, the Pithecus, I believe you say. I can't say it right, but they did live amongst us. So they were alive with humans. So it is possible.
Think about it like this: with all the new building construction that we do, and we start tearing down forests and stuff, like you see so much more like deer running through your neighborhood now, and like I mean, you live up here in Manchester. There was a few years ago there was a moose running down one of the main roads right by the church, the hospital, a baby moose running down the main street. It was like, it's friggin' Manchester.
Yeah.
Where the hell did this moose come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just like holy crap. But when you start thinking about
It was running away from the homeless.
all the deforestation, probably the zombies down in downtown Manchester.
Yeah.
Careful of that Elm Street.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, we drove by it yesterday. It's all cleaned up.
Yeah,
We'll see where they shoved them off to.
but you know, you start looking at that, and when you start to think about like building, you know, cities getting bigger, small towns becoming cities and stuff, in a place like Minnesota where it's, you know, a 2-hour drive to your local jiu-jitsu school, you know, the more they start doing that stuff and taking away the, you know, forests and places for things like that to hide, if that's a real creature, shit's going to start coming out of the woodwork and you're going to start seeing shit.
Yeah, of course.
There's nowhere else from them to
It's
hide.
got nowhere else to go.
No.
It's just like there was a guy on Rogan, and he was talking about the deforestation of the rainforest and stuff like that. And he was looking for, you know, different life and stuff inside of it. And he was like, you step outside of the forest and you hear nothing, literally nothing. And then so much of it's like that now. And he's like, you go into the forest and you're there, and it's the loudest experience of your life. There's just nothing but noise everywhere. And that used to reign the entire whatever, and now it's just all wiped out for growing shit, and now it's like silent.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was in there though? They didn't fucking inspect anything. They didn't check things out. They just drove over it, cleaned it out, killed everything, and moved on. You know, so Bill Gates can grow shit.
Yeah.
You know, because he probably bought that too. He probably has a piece in it. I think he has a piece in a lot of shit. He's still trying to push this fake meat on us.
Well, he bought up most of the farmland.
Yeah.
And then
him and Jeff Bezos own almost, they own, between the two of them, the most farmland in Texas of any two people.
Yep.
And makes you wonder what they're doing with it.
And then they, like the Gates Foundation, I think they invested their money in like some kind of unstoppable burger or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they
It's
brought
like
up another article
stuff.
recently.
Meat
Yeah.
It's
It's the Impossible
so
Burger.
bad for you, man.
Yep,
It's full
of oils.
of
It's all soy.
not natural.
It's
man.
so bad for you. So bad for you.
You know, having a newborn at home, we started looking at formula and stuff.
Oh, I bet.
And
I bet.
every single American formula has soy in it.
Yep.
Ugh.
Every single one.
Really.
And
So
soy
bad for
promotes
you.
estrogen in the body, and that's so bad for any man
Yes.
to have. But for a young boy trying to become a man growing up, having soy in your diet is the worst thing for a developing child.
Yeah.
So I had to actually go to a European version to get something that didn't have soy in it.
Shut the fuck up.
I have to order it from Europe to get it.
What?
Yes, because the United States does not have a soy-free version.
Holy shit.
Not a single one of them.
See, and those are the little things that like I look at. Like, why don't they sell like certain Gatorades in certain countries, and why don't they sell this in certain countries? But we
Those
sell it
dyes are
all
horrible
here.
for you. 'Cause
Right.
those
They're
dyes and
they're
stuff are
horrible for you, and they know better.
Yeah.
But yet we keep allowing them to do this to us. I don't understand it. And that's crazy that every single formula in America has soy in it.
And now you're seeing, like,
And you know
all
that's
these-
just used as a base and a thicker. You know what I mean? It's just to
It's
give it.
because it's cheap.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly. That too.
But it's interesting now because you see all these kids nowadays they're hitting their 20s and their 30s. They're having all these cancers, all these mental illnesses, all these other ADD and whatever. Well, what if all this stuff may have been just caused by the bad nutrition that we got from all this?
Well, there was
100%.
another
You know what I mean?
article on
What if?
how
Monsanto,
how
thank you.
so many people between 20 and 30 now have cancer. The numbers
It's
are
insane.
outrageous
Yeah.
now, and they're like just noticing it.
I had a friend a couple of years ago. He was like
They're trying to
20.
blame it on
He was
other
like
stuff.
28, 29. You know, healthy enough guy, whatever. And he was telling me one day, he was, he smokes. He smoked like a pack a day or whatever. And he started getting into drinking the Monster energy drinks and the whatever the other one is there. And he was drinking them 3-4 of them a day and stuff. And I was like, dude, you want to die young, keep smoking and keep drinking those things because that shit's so bad for you.
Which is what every soldier in America does. Every American soldier,
it's insane.
by the way.
Insane.
Really?
Pretty
How
much
much
everyone in
they
the
do.
military, how much energy drinks and fucking smoking cigarettes. And,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So this
And then they go
kid,
drink their faces off later.
this kid, I didn't hear from him. He's a a guy I used to game with once in a while. I didn't hear from him for like 9-10 months, and then I was wondering what the hell happened to him. So I went on his Facebook and I looked him up, and I look, and he had a friggin' massive stroke at 31 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Because he was drinking those freaking stupid energy drinks all the time and smoking cigarettes and shit. And his health is terrible. He was just eating the standard American diet. He wasn't like overweight or anything. He was a thin guy like you. He happened to be drinking those energy drinks a lot and freaking smoking butts and massive stroke, 31 years old.
That shit's no good for you, man.
It's
It's
awful.
not meant to
It's
be
awful.
drank all the time. You know what I mean?
People have said to me over the years, they're always like, oh, if they don't know me when they first meet me, they're like, oh, how old are you? And I tell them, and yeah, okay, sure. It was, they've always thought I was a lot younger. I mean, I'm starting to get a little gray now. I started looking a little older now, but
Yeah.
for a long time, people would always guess I was in my early 30s, and I was like, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
My
that's
wife, when we
exactly
first
what I
started
did.
dating, she thought I was her age.
Yeah.
She's 34.
Okay.
I'm almost 12 years older than her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but she didn't, obviously she didn't care. But, clean living. I don't drink anymore at all. I used to only drink a couple days a year. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs, any of that shit. And I try to eat healthy. It's and the more you do it, and the more you look into some of the shit that they put in our standard American diet,
Yeah.
like it's all wheat, it's all corn,
Yep.
it's all processed corn shit and
It's all
wheat shit.
cheap fillers.
It's awful, and they put the shit in everything.
Fructose corn syrup, all
It's
that
in
shit.
everything.
But also remember, like when we were growing up, nobody had a peanut allergy,
No,
and
Nobody did.
we've always said this. Like something had to have changed in the diet, in the food that they're giving us to create
yeah.
all these allergies.
Look at all the
We
changes
never had this
Monsanto's
shit.
made with genetic engineering and
Right.
things. They're changing the seeds that go into the ground. They're
Yeah.
changing everything.
Changing everything, and what do you think that does to us?
It's going
You know,
to change what
I
who
know
we
I still
are.
go to the grocery store and I still buy my meat there, and I know
Mhm.
I'm not going to be a hunter, and I understand all of that, but I do the best that I can to eat as healthy as I
Mhm.
can, and a lot of people don't understand that, like, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
It's way more expensive,
It's
and that's the
ridiculous.
sad part of all of it is that if you want to be healthy today,
Mhm.
you have to have the funds to back it up. Otherwise, you're at, and you can't even say like going to McDonald's because now, what is it? The little double cheeseburger that used to be $1 is now like $4.
Yep.
I heard somebody was telling me they eat fast food all the time. It was like $12.85 for like a Big Mac meal.
Oh,
I was like, holy
Wow.
shit,
It's insane.
what?
I haven't had McDonald's. In
I mean, I haven't
30
had
years.
it in a decade, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, more than that. But like, you just, it's just crazy to me. Like McDonald's is becoming expensive.
Yeah.
So like, it's just expensive, period, today. But
Somebody was saying the other day, my cousin brought her son by to check out the trucks at the firehouse, and she brought a dozen donuts, whatever. And somebody started talking about a dozen donuts now is like $24. I was like, what? Really?
did you see those?
I remember
shit?
they used to be like
Crazy.
$6 for a dozen donuts.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I
Massively
mean, I haven't eaten
cheap.
that stuff in a while,
No,
but still,
me neither.
it's
But-
like, wow.
But like, that's so crazy to me. But what else is crazy to me is that like the people on TikTok that were backed up by Monsanto or whoever, Monsanto, and they were trying to say how like, oh, they were doing these things where like, oh, I got some donuts here, and like the other lady's like, oh, I heard donuts are bad, and she's like, what do you mean they're bad? They're freshly baked. Of course they're not bad. They're good.
Oh,
And like they
gosh.
were trying to make it, and they were just doing
know-
it with cookies and donuts and all this shit. And like, what do you mean it's bad? It's fine for you and this and that. I mean, you don't see those videos now because everybody talked about them and they like got fucking just demolished. But it was such a fucking evident push
Yeah.
of just junk food and garbage onto everybody.
One of the things that President Trump did when he first got into office, when I was really trying to tear apart what kind of a person he was, that I really didn't like was that he took a former president of Monsanto and put him in charge of like agriculture or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
that
like,
shit was crazy.
why would you do that?
He also put the CEO, I think, of BlackRock on the board of the Federal Reserve or whatever.
Something like that.
Something not chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of terrible stuff. It makes you wonder if you can trust anybody or anything.
I don't think you can.
No.
I really don't.
I think once you get to that
think
level.
that that it's just this like Santos, who hand over fist lied about everything he did, everything he was doing, where he went to school, his parents, his heritage. They're just pathological liars, and they don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
And they can't stop, and they will do everything in their power to make their lies truth.
Kind of like former Vice President Biden.
What? Former vice president.
He's not my president.
He's not my president. No, I mean, it's.
Nope. Not my president. Let's go, Brandon.
I mean, that guy is dead. He's literally dead, and it's like, well, Camilla could just like push him over the edge at any moment in time, and like she could be the first black president, and she's not taking the opportunity, which is fine. I don't want her in there either.
She's amazing.
Oh yeah,
And when she's gonna be in charge, it'll be amazing. It'll be like amazing, because then it's amazing.
because
And that's exactly how every one of her speeches goes.
Yeah,
She's the dumbest. She might be dumber than AOC.
dude. I've
And
seen
AOC
I
is
don't
dumb
know.
as
I
a
don't know
box
if
of
you-
a
rocks.
few
Yeah.
interviews.
No,
I've
she's pretty
seen.
bad, dude.
Oh, it's bad.
She's
You're right.
awful.
It is bad. It is bad. Like,
What did she get for sleeping your way to the top? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
for her
well,
intellect.
she was. I don't know if maybe she did that
allegedly.
along.
Allegedly, I
if-
heard it on the internet. I don't know if it's true.
If she allegedly did that, she
accident.
definitely put people in jail to make it her way to the top.
Oh, and then
Well-
then they asked. Remember when they were talking to her about how all the people she put away for marijuana, and they're
That's
like,
what
"Oh,
I'm
have you ever
talking
smoked
about.
any?" She's like, "It's just like,
Yeah,
bitch,
she definitely did. But
you
that's
can't
the
do
point is
that.
that
Like-
she, between her and
it's fucking crazy."
Yeah.
former Vice President Biden, they
Yeah,
put
she's the
more
vice
people in
president.
jail and kept them in jail than any other two people in this
Awful
country.
people.
Well,
And
don't-
it's because in California they have all these prisons that are set up to create industry. Because it's cheap, free labor, it's slave labor.
man.
right, right.
You know, she's the one who pushed to get crack rocks made to be a bigger, like a small bag of crack was as bad as a huge bag of cocaine.
which is insane.
Yeah,
Pays
because
more
it's like
time.
a $5 or $10 bag of crack is as bad as like a $1,000 bag of cocaine.
And they'd serve more time, which makes them
Yep.
slaves for their labor bullshit even longer.
yeah, so they'd
So-
pay them like 10 cents a day to
Sink it.
manufacture something.
Yeah. Well,
That's
we
insane.
we got a penny a day when I was in jail.
Oh,
And I
whatever
had-
it is, you know
and
what I'm
I
saying?
and I had to go mow the cemeteries.
Yeah, that's
was-
insane.
Oh yeah, I
it's
had
like
to be out there.
$1.50 now, I think.
Oh, it's $1.50
where I
now.
work, yeah.
Yeah, it was
A
like
day.
nothing when I was
the point
there.
is it's slave labor.
Yeah.
Even
It's
more,
really-
100%,
even more
yeah.
money if you're a snitch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. They always work.
Allegedly.
With them.
Heard
Allegedly.
it on
Yeah.
heard it on Reddit.
Yeah, gotta love Reddit. But yeah, I mean, they're just all terrible.
They're all terrible.
They're all
They're
terrible.
all lying to us all the time, and if we don't question or have these conversations,
Question everybody, man.
everything
That's
and
why you gotta know
everybody.
what all these symbols and shit mean, so that way you know when the fucking magician's coming at you with some bullshit. You're just like, Psh, not today.
You know,
Like, you know that Dragon Ball Z episode when Trunks shows up from the future and he's fighting Frieza and Frieza shoots the energy blast. He's like, Psh, bitch. Like, it's like that.
I'm sorry.
I've never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, don't cut that out. I mean,
I will not.
No.
cut
here,
that.
put that shit up real quick, just so people know. what I'm talking. Go,
We're clipping that.
All right, clip it.
YouTube that real quick.
But
No, you don't want to.
I will.
that's so funny.
The part where Trunks versus Frieza.
You know what's funny to me? Staying on topic there, I have friends that are like hardcore lefties and they believe whatever they see on CNN or whatever. And to me, I'm always like, listen, they're like, oh, you just like Fox News, you're a hardcore Republican, this that. I'm like, no, I'm a constitutionalist. I don't like either party. I think that the two-party system is a failure.
Yes.
I think
it is too.
I think that there's so much wrong with the system. I need to tear the whole thing down and redo it.
How many times do these guys fight?
I don't know. Go
Clearly,
back
quite
up
a
to the
bit.
top.
Trunks scares, Trunks this, Trunks that, and then I
Yeah,
got
it doesn't
Trunks.
really matter
Trunks
anymore.
versus Frieza right here. Frieza has returned.
What the Vegeta are you doing?
I don't know, man. I thought you didn't know what I was talking about.
I don't. I've never seen an episode, but
Dude, you got.
I've heard people talk about it.
I've heard so many people talk about Dragon
People have
Ball
told me
Z,
that I
but-
would love that character the
maybe
best.
click on
I
that
don't
one
know.
where yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Let's see if that one shows.
It wouldn't be the one that says Trunks versus Frieza?
It's time you
I don't even know if I
Maybe
can
not,
play
it's
this.
before that part.
I don't even know if I could play the sound. I'm just gonna leave it on the TV so it's fuzzy. I don't need any strikes against me, which is funny because you think most of these conversations would get a strike. It would be playing something.
Oh, yeah.
that's copyrighted.
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure he calls him out a bunch of times, and then he like shoots an energy, anything. Anyways,
Oh, he
the point
shoots
of-
an energy drink at him.
a shot of energy at him. I don't know.
How we
It's
got into
cool
this, but-
Japanese shows, man. They're sick.
Listen, we can watch anime another time.
Yeah, I can't find I can't find what I'm talking about.
No, it's
Anyways,
fine.
What I was
Yeah.
getting at is you want to know what all these crazy symbols and shit. Now that I make myself look and sound crazy, you know.
Hey.
You want to know what this stuff is, so that way, like when you see the divide and conquer spell coming at
Yeah.
you, when they use another
Right.
major event, like
Of
so,
course.
like look at the Memphis thing. You know, I was listening to a show where there's this guy, they call him Donut. That's some kind of pseudonym or something. But he predicted, like, it was in the tinfoil hat episode, and then this other show called like Occult Symbolism and Pop Culture with Isaac Weishaupt. This dude Donut's talking about, yo, keep your eyes on Memphis, and this was weeks before the thing happened in Memphis with those cops, and it was just like,
Are you
you
talking
know,
about that Tyree thing?
yeah,
or
that
whatever?
whole thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
Where he supposedly, was having an affair with one of the cops' ex-wives. Or
I don't
something.
know the details about the story. I just
They
know
killed the
this
guy.
dude said, "Watch out for something happening in Memphis," and then boom, this thing happens in Memphis.
Yeah, they all got, like, one of them's been fired.
You know?
The other ones are all being
And
charged.
I feel like it was an
It's-
order ab
it
KO
was-
attempt.
Dude, have you seen the video of them beating him?
It's
Oh, yeah.
fucked up.
Like,
It is.
stepping back and
Fuck.
like,
It's awful, man.
Booting him
Dude,
in the
just
head.
picking him up.
what kills me is they fired the 2 EMTs who supposedly got on scene at the end of it because they didn't transport him right away. And it's not. Here's the thing: if the cops are saying, he's in custody right now, you can't take him, it really should be on the cops, not the EMTs. But they fired the
But
2
they wouldn't-
EMTs.
Well, the
But-
EMTs
but
were not helping
they
him
wouldn't-
at all.
but they
yeah,
wouldn't
but
do
they
that.
weren't there until after the fact. When they showed some of the body cam footage,
Yeah.
they're like looking around and stuff. I didn't see an ambulance anywhere near that.
No, I
location.
didn't either. But I guess what happened was they weren't, when they did show up, they weren't doing what they were supposed to,
Mhm.
and they just negated to help him because supposedly they were in cahoots with them. So they're all connected,
It's so weird.
which is
Well,
the whole thing is crazy. And they what did they say? They dismantled the entire unit.
yeah.
That was a whole separate
so.
unit that was specific for just doing whatever they were doing.
Makes you wonder
And
what else they were doing.
I never heard
Gets-
about the girlfriend, the boyfriend, whatever,
Well, supposedly
cheating or
that,
whatever.
the kid that got killed was. I heard this after the fact. Supposedly was sleeping with one of the guys' ex-wife.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So they, they grabbed
Decided
him, got
to
a hold of him and
Say
beat the
he
fuck
was
out of
doing
him, yeah.
something, and okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Jam him up, and they just
I mean, this is gonna get
that one guy
sloppy either
tooled
way.
off on him
Right.
and just started kicking him in the head and stuff.
But I mean, the video evidence shows that motherfucker was not fighting back.
But that guy was part of a special unit or whatever that did
The
weird
cops
shit.
were.
Yeah, so
They were all part of a special
where
unit.
else do we
I forget
see
what it was called.
weird special units doing weird shit?
Yeah, well, they were given
Minneapolis.
power.
I'm just saying. Think back to the group that the Derek Shaven guy was part of. He was part of another covert group of police officers doing crazy
supposedly.
weird shit that
Oh,
no one
okay.
else knows about. I mean,
Well,
look into it.
I mean, he wasn't a cop.
Yeah, I think some.
Just what he's talking about, right?
I'm
guy
vaguely
who-
remembering
So
that.
the guy from the George Floyd case.
Oh, okay.
The one who had his knee
he
on
was
the back
part
of
of
his
some
neck.
Yeah.
dark, like
Him and the
Oh,
the
gotcha,
Asian
gotcha.
cop that were there
yeah.
were both. There used to be pictures. I haven't been able to find it recently because I did go looking recently. They were both at Sandy Hook. I did see the pictures of both of them, or guys look very similar to them. One, he was dressed up in FBI clothes at Sandy Hook. And then
Ah.
there's other pictures that I've seen in the past that, again,
Didn't he
they've scrubbed from
respond
the
to-
internet. He was that they were both at the Boston Marathon too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those two guys. So, these are pictures I've seen on the internet. I don't know if they were doctored. I don't know if they're true, whatever. But you can't
Weird.
find them anymore. You know,
Right.
and it's amazing the stuff that they've doctored on the internet or that they've taken away. Like, you know, the Sandy Hook videos. You know, you had that father who supposedly lost his daughter the day before, and then he's coming out to talk to the news, and he's laughing and smiling and talking to guys.
Yeah.
The only
We played
video
that
I could
last time.
find, I couldn't find that video anywhere on YouTube. I went to BitChute, found one video on there of that guy with the laughing and shit. They blurred out his face until he's outside, so you don't see any of the laughing and shit going on. I'm like, how is this any kind of truth in broadcasting, or you know what I mean? Like you're hiding. What's going on there.
So the video I attached to it last time, was it not an accurate video?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because
with you,
I
but-
did attach that part to it
Yeah.
when we talked about it, and that was I found it was like it wasn't him walking out of the hallway, he was already out.
See, that's
and he
the
was,
problem.
And he was still smiling.
Yeah.
And then he turned to the podium.
Oh,
and
so
it
you see him
changed.
doing that, like getting into
Yeah,
character
yeah.
thing. All right, they've already taken that off the internet too. Then, for the most part,
Oh,
because
it's-
I
you
was
can
looking
see it
last week
on our
Good.
last conspiracy podcast.
Awesome, definitely go and hit that and look. at it.
I put that clip it in.
Awesome, because I'll tell you, I was looking to show somebody a couple weeks ago, and
you couldn't
could
find
not
it?
find it on
Really?
YouTube. Could not find it. Maybe they just changed the algorithm so you can't.
Well,
find
I
it
did
with certain
edit that in
keywords.
November,
You know
so
what?
that's when I found
There
that
you go.
video.
I looked at it was like 3 weeks ago. I was trying to show a friend.
Oh, okay.
You know what you could still find on the internet? The Michelle Obama dancing in the white pants.
What? Those are just keys or something, aren't they?
I mean, I don't know. I showed it to somebody recently, and then they took another look. And they
I
were
mean, you
like,
never really see
Oh,
her with
I
her
mean, you don't
chin
see
up.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean,
Why would she have her chin down all the
I don't
time?
know.
I'm just saying
I
it's
don't know.
interesting. You watch that video, it just
Yeah. It is interesting.
Yeah.
Makes me doubt myself.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
don't
sh-
want to beat a dead horse here, but you know,
Dead horse.
or speak too soon.
Yeah. Former first horse. I mean, first lady. But
I just got that. Oh man, nice. I think
Michael Johnson.
That might,
I mean, Michelle Obama.
that might be
I mean,
a good
same
place
thing.
to. You know.
Same.
What do
Yeah.
I know? Hey, just it's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
What do I
That's
know?
right.
Just heard it on the
I
internet.
don't know nothing.
Look into
Me
it
neither.
Yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, with it.
for my buddy Johnny. Look on Reddit.
Look on Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah, he watched that first video and he was laughing about me doing the
Doing.
things. Well, hey,
It's
you
so
know,
funny though. I mean, if you don't talk about this stuff or have questions about it,
You
I
should
mean,
be able to talk about this stuff. and not
I
get
think so
punished
too.
for
But
it,
you
know what
should
I mean?
also have questions.
free speech.
You should
yeah.
always have
Free
questions.
speech.
The people that don't have questions and the people that want you not to ask questions
Yeah.
worry me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They worry me a lot. Why? What is so wrong about doing this?
yeah.
What is so wrong with it? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Nothing.
We're having a good time. We're having fun. We're asking
Joking
questions.
around. Yeah.
Some of this, that's why I said earlier, like, it's so weird to me that so many things that you think would just be so out there and just not factual, those are the ones that turn out to be true all
Yeah.
the time.
All the time.
And we're seeing it more
All
and
the
more.
time.
In the last 2 years, all the crazy conspiracy people like us, you tell people stuff, and 6 months later, they're like, "Oh man, you were right." No shit,
Yeah.
because I actually took
Just
the time to look into it to see what the hell's really
Looking,
going on,
listening.
paying attention,
Question.
knowing when someone's full of shit.
Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
What's
Why
you
not?
know what's a good conspiracy? It's the truth 6 months early.
Yeah.
What's,
mean,
what's the
really.
difference between the conspiracy theory and the truth? About 6 to
6
12 months.
Yeah,
6 to 12 months. I love
seriously.
it. That's awesome.
It's crazy, but it's like, you gotta look into shit and you gotta figure shit out for yourself.
I think so.
And
So.
even question that stuff too. I mean, like,
I'm always constantly
course.
questioning things and trying to figure out what the real reason for a lot of it is. And, maybe someday we'll get there,
Yeah.
Until
At a
then, you
time.
gotta figure stuff out and question it and challenge it. And
Right now, the only answer I have is just money and power.
how much money is enough?
There's never enough, obviously. And you got billionaires, trillionaires, and they make more loopholes to keep their money, and they make up all these lies to keep it even more, and then they make their own truth to make their lies fit so they can stay right where they are. And all of and the people that don't ask questions and don't do things just sit back and go, it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not okay. None of this is okay.
dude,
No.
it's
We're
funny.
all being taken advantage of.
We keep mentioning like billionaires doing weird, crazy stuff. We mentioned earlier on the way here, and my watch started saying weird stuff. I just had to shut it up.
Was that your watch that was just talking?
Yeah, that was just mine.
Oh, I thought it was your phone for a second.
not.
They're always listening.
They're always listening. Yeah, we're always plugged in.
Dude,
this
I'm
is
telling you.
this is an appendage.
I can have my
now.
phone shut off, 20 feet away and talking to some.
Dude, I'm
my
gonna get
wife about
fucking weird
something.
ads for shit now.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Every time.
I can't even open my phone because I get so much weird shit in there.
Every time. Anything, like, we can just be talking about something,
Yep.
and, like, I won't touch my phone. And it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. And then all of a sudden, I got fucking weird ads. I got
yeah.
recommendations. I'm like, what the
I was talking with Elijah
never
on the
typed this
phone about
in.
Giants, and then since then, 90% of my feed and YouTube is all about Giants. It's like, what? What?
It's so
Like,
weird.
I watch all kinds of other weird videos, too, that have, they're all
And
over
it's-
the place.
And if you lock your phone and you put it face down, it's supposed to silent it,
yeah.
and it's not supposed to do anything. And yet you pick it back up, and you're
Mhm.
like, I was just talking about like some Nike shoes, and now all of a sudden I'm
All you
getting
see is Nike
shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I talked about getting a new computer, and I've got more ads for fucking computers than I've ever even searched.
Mhm.
You know?
Crazy.
You don't have
Like-
to search. They're trying to get you ads for shit before you even know
Like-
you need it.
I'm like, well, that's
You
a
know?
good thing they know I need one, because I do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and I like the fact that we keep doing this. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
This has been a wild ride today.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah,
I can't
So
wait for the
many
next
things.
one.
yeah, let's do it. Definitely, man. I'm down because the way my work schedule is going, I don't know how many individual ones I'll be able to do this
Hey.
year. So
We bang two
We-
or three together in a day.
let's
Nuts.
do it.
Let's do it.
let's keep doing it. Absolutely,
Absolutely, brother.
Mike.
Thanks,
Thank
brother. Thanks
you.
for having us.
Elijah,
Chris.
thank you, brothers. And on that note, again, everybody, look into everything, question everything. It's important. It's important. And these questions, these conversations, they may be just for fun for now, but the questions are being asked, and
And the
we're going to
truth.
not stop looking for the answers or the truth. And I just hope everybody out there has an amazing Thursday. Enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you later.